welcome to the Deep Dive. This is the show where we try to really dig into the sources and pull out the key insights for you. Today, we're tackling a giant. Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather.
A giant is definitely the right word. And it presents this fascinating puzzle, doesn't it?
It really does. The central paradox we want to wrestle with is this. How does a film that's centered on characters who, let's face it, by any normal moral compass, are deeply flawed, maybe even bad?
Right, criminals.
How does it manage to get so much sympathy from us, so much understanding, even engagement? It goes beyond just film appreciation, I think.
It does. And well, our mission today is really to unpack the brilliance behind Puzo's novel and Coppola's film. We're going to explore the specific ways, the techniques, both thematic and cinematic, that draw you so deeply into its world.
Making you feel, almost against your better judgment, some kind of connection, maybe empathy for the Corleones.
Exactly. And our main source here is, naturally, a close look at the film itself, how its story and its craft create this really unique effect on the audience.
Okay, let's get into it. The secret weapon, you could say, the film's enduring charm, its spell, it really lies in this idea of the closed world. Coppola's genius isn't just showing the Mafia, it's presenting their world completely on its own terms, within its own distinct rules, its own logic, even its own sense of justice. It's quite something.
And what's really key here, and maybe easy to miss, is how deliberately the film leaves out any external moral judgment or, societal consequences.
Okay.
Think about it. You never actually see the true victims of organized crime, do you?
No, you don't.
There are no, harrowing scenes of women forced into prostitution, no families destroyed by gambling bets, no shopkeepers terrified by protection rackets. We don't see the victims of theft or fraud.
And the police.
The only significant cop we really meet, Captain McCluskey, he's completely corrupt.
Yeah.
Easily bought. So this creates a vacuum, basically. A powerful illusion where justice, or maybe just order, seems to flow only from Don Vito Corleone. It kind of forces you, the viewer, to accept his world as the only one that matters in the story. It subtly shifts your perspective.
And the film doesn't waste a second setting this up. That insider's view. I mean, the very first shot, right? We're pulled inside Don Vito's study. Dark, shuttered, almost claustrophobic.
On his daughter's wedding day, no less. A day when tradition says a Don has to grant requests.
And in comes Bonacera, the Undertaker, seeking, well, he calls it justice for his daughter.
That dialogue is just, it's legendary. And it lays the foundation for the whole film. Don Vito asking him, why did you go to the police? Why didn't you come to me first?
What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully?
Exactly. If you'd come to me in friendship, then this scum would be suffering this very day. And then the clincher. And if an honest man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. And then they would fear you.
Wow. It's not just talk, is it? It's like a mission statement.
It is. It summarizes everything. Total lack of faith in the state's justice system, replaced by this patriarchal, clan-based system. It's brutal, it's transactional, but the film shows it as, well, effective in its own way. If you want real justice in this world, you go to the family.
And Coppola brilliantly introduces everyone during that big, chaotic wedding sequence outside, but keeps cutting back to these hushed, intense scenes in the study.
Yeah, that intercutting is masterful.
It just pulls you right into the Godfather's world immediately. Fantastic world building from frame one.
Totally agree. And once you are inside this world, you start to see its own internal logic, its priorities.
Yeah.
Family, loyalty, respect. It's very nuanced.
And very patriarchal. The role of women, for instance. They often seem like, well, shadows in the main business of things.
That's true. Think about Vito's wife. We barely know her name. She's there in the photos, the matriarch, but she has no real say in the family business.
Or Connie, the Don's daughter. She's so disregarded. Even her husband, Carlo, isn't really trusted or brought into the inner circle.
And you see her being abused physically, emotionally. Her pleas don't really register until Sonny steps in, and even then it feels more about family disrespect than her suffering.
Their power seems more domestic, or through their sons. It really highlights how focused this world is on male authority, male lineage.
Which reinforces how insular the Corleone world is from the outside society. You really get a sense of their unique structure, real power, real dignity. It all comes down to absolute loyalty to the family.
Which brings us to Michael. His journey is just incredible.
Right. And the irony is the title, The Godfather, it really ends up being about him, not Vito.
Initially, he wants no part of it, does he? The war hero, the college kid, wants to marry Kay Adams, an outsider.
But his turning point,
Yeah.
it's chilling, saving his father at the hospital. That whisper, "I'm with you now."
And then the decision to kill Soloso and McCluskey.
That act, it's like it awakens something in him, a monster, as the analysis puts it. Driven by revenge, yes, but also this intense need to protect the family.
It hammers home that idea. Loyalty to the family above everything, above honesty, above conventional morality. Michael's line, don't ever take sides against the family. That's the absolute law.
It becomes his code. You see him get colder, more calculating, utterly devoted to the family's survival. He doesn't even fully trust Tom Hagen, his own consigliere, with the big plan at the end. Loyalty is absolute, and at the top, it's lonely.
Speaking of Michael's transformation, we have to talk about the baptism massacre. That sequence is just stunning.
It's incredible cinema, but it's also such a profound comment on the duality of belief, maybe?
How so?
Well, think about it. It gives Michael this perfect alibi. He's standing there, being godfather to his nephew, in church.
While simultaneously
Consolidating his power by wiping out all his rivals.
Yeah.
But the genius is the contrast, right? You've got the soaring organ music, the sacred ritual, Michael renouncing Satan.
While these brutal, efficient murders are happening all over the city,
Coppola just puts it right there in front of you. How deeply held beliefs, religious, familial, whatever, can be twisted, rationalized, used to justify the most ruthless actions in the name of power.
it's not just about survival. It's about the mental hoops they jump through, the moral gymnastics, like you said. It's deeply unsettling.
It really is. And that idea of family being the ultimate authority, it's everywhere in the film.
Like at the start, waiting for Michael for the family photo, even though he's not in the business yet.
Exactly. It shows the importance of the unit, the bond itself. It's almost sacred beyond the criminal stuff.
Or that scene in Vegas, Michael confronting Fredo.
Oof. Yeah. Fredo says something minor, trying to be helpful to someone else, and Michael just leans in. Never stand against the family. Never.
It's a chilling warning. The code is non-negotiable.
And Michael takes on that burden, doesn't he? The family legacy.
Yeah.
He sacrifices his old self, becomes something else to protect them. That beast within, awakened by what happened to his father. It really speaks to that potential in humans to do anything under pressure.
And within this family structure, there's this whole hierarchy of respect, friendship.
Definitely. You see that superior respect when Bonacera kisses Don Vito's hand. It's not just fear, it's reverence, acknowledging his power, his patronage.
And then there's Tom Hagen, the consigliere, more than just a lawyer.
Much more. He's adopted, a brother figure. His advice is valued. He's that trusted, sort of neutral counsel.
Which is vital in a world built on secrets and loyalty.
Yeah.
Having someone who can give objective advice.
Exactly. He's not blood, but he's family. So his perspective is crucial, especially for tough decisions. And you also see those subtle rules, like when Sonny beats up Carlo.
Right at the dinner table. Explosive.
But then Mama Corleone quietly tells Sonny to stop. Because Connie's married now, she has her own family unit within the larger one. There are boundaries, unwritten laws, even within the clan.
It's fascinating how detailed that world is.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Don Vito himself. Paradoxically, he kind of emerges as the film's moral center.
Okay, I know how that sounds. A crime boss as a moral center.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, but within the context of his closed world.
That's the key. Within his framework, he's presented as old, wise, and importantly, opposed to dealing drugs. Calls it a dirty business, unlike liquor or gambling.
Which he sees as maybe less harmful, or at least controllable within his system.
Right, and that's Coppola's sleight of hand again. In that Mafia summit scene, Vito argues his point. He implies that in his ideal world there'd be no drugs, just these so-called victimless crimes, and justice would be swift, predictable.
It's a twisted logic, but it's consistent within the film's world. It taps into that desire for order, even if it's outside the law.
And Coppola structures it so cleverly that you develop sympathy for Vito. His choices seem pragmatic, almost principled in his context. So when he dies among his tomato plants,
You genuinely feel like something significant has been lost. A giant has passed, as the analysis says, even though the Corleones are objectively criminals.
the film makes you mourn him, mourn the loss of his particular kind of order, maybe, which is just incredible storytelling.
Absolutely. And beyond the story, the film's power comes so much from its craft.
Yeah.
The look, the sound.
Oh, definitely. Gordon Willis' cinematography, it's legendary.
That darkness, the richness. It's so expressive. You really lose something if you only see it brightened up on TV.
Willis was the Prince of Darkness, they called him. That chiaroscuro lighting, heavy contrast between light and shadow, it creates this feeling of enclosure, secrecy.
Perfect for the closed world.
Exactly. Scenes bathed in shadow, faces just emerging. It makes you feel like you're peering into this private, hidden reality.
And the casting. Just wow. Not just the main stars, Brando, Pacino, Corleone, Duvall, who are all amazing.
But all those supporting faces, Coppola picked these remarkable faces, often fleshy, lined, full of character, huge jaws, deep-set eyes.
Like Abe Vigoda as Tessio.
Perfect example. First, you see him dancing warmly with the child at the wedding. Looks like a kindly uncle.
Then at the end,
Suddenly, he's brightly lit, looking so vulnerable, begging Tom Hagen for his life. Tell Mike it was only business. It's heartbreaking, and the lighting change emphasizes his exposure, his doom.
and Brando as Don Vito. It's iconic, obviously.
Yeah.
But what makes it more than just mannerisms, like the cheeks or the cat?
I think it's his stillness and that voice.
That raspy whisper.
Yeah, it forces you to lean in, to listen. It commands respect through quietness. He doesn't need big gestures. His presence, the weight behind his eyes, it makes him seem like this ancient force. You believe his warnings are wisdom, not just lines.
Like when he warns Michael about the traitor setting up the meeting, you just know he's right.
You do. He embodies a whole system. And Pacino as Michael, the subtlety is incredible.
Playing it so close to the vest, learning from his father, never trusting too much.
You watch that innocence just drain away, replaced by this cold focus. It's all in his eyes. And Duvall as Tom Hagen. You forget you're watching Robert Duvall. You just see Tom Hagen.
The actors just disappear into the world.
They really do. And then, underpinning everything is Nino Rota's score.
Oh, that music. So melancholic. Coppola went specifically to Italy to get Rota right because of his work with Fellini.
That's right. And that main theme, it's got such sadness, such nostalgia baked into it. It's not just background music. It feels like the film's conscience, almost.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that haunting melody, it seems to carry this sense of regret, a lament for what might have been, the tragedy of the choices made.
Implying that if they'd stuck to Vito's original code, maybe avoided the drugs, the extreme violence,
Yeah.
things could have been different.
Exactly. The music feels like the unspoken regret of this powerful family losing its way. It whispers that maybe, just maybe, everything could have been so different if we had only listened to The Godfather. It leaves you with this profound sense of paths not taken.
So, wrapping this up, The Godfather really is more than just a gangster movie. Its power lies in pulling us so completely into the tragedy of this clan, with its own rules, its own morality, seen entirely from the inside.
Absolutely. All those elements we talked about, Willis's dark visuals, Rota's sad music, Brando's towering performance, they all work together to build this incredibly immersive, closed world.
And the film's real magic, maybe its most unsettling aspect, is how reluctant we are to leave that world. How we feel that the death of Vito, a bad man, is genuinely the end of an era.
It's the loss of that specific, albeit violent, order. It's tragic in the truest sense.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about deeper human truths. The film shows people are capable of almost anything to survive, to protect their own, gathering power, acting on instinct. Michael's journey, the baptism.
It forces you to confront the nature of power, family, loyalty, and the compromises we make, or might make.
And that music just echoes, doesn't it? Everything could have been so different.
It's the haunting sound of a world where honor, even a skewed version of it, gives way to something colder, maybe more ruthless, where good and bad just dissolve into tragedy.
So here's the final thought for you to maybe chew on. Given how masterfully The Godfather pulls us into its world, makes us sympathize with these complex, morally gray characters, what does that tell us about our own deep-seated human needs? Our need for belonging, for power, for some kind of defined justice, even when those needs show up in really unsettling ways.
It's a powerful question. What does our reaction to the Corleones reveal about ourselves?
Something to think about long after the credits roll.